Welcome to the Tune Pack Podcast. I'm your host, the punk rock pop, Lee Pierce. And today's episode, we're talking about marketing for EDM artists and DJs. And we are lucky enough to be joined by Ozzy Murphy. Ozzy, thanks for joining us. Could you take a minute to tell everybody a bit about yourself?
My name's Ozzy, aka Ojison. I'm a local hyperpop / hardstyle DJ in the LA Underground. I've been DJing for about a couple months now. I've been making music since 2016 and recently just started to get a little bit of an audience. So I'm excited to be here doing my first podcast. It's pretty exciting. Thank you for having me. So I'm super excited for this.
I've been excited for this for a while. Like we had talked about, your dad's the photographer, Sean Murphy, and he's been bragging you up. So I know this is gonna be a good episode. I've been excited for this since we talked about it first. So all right, man, let's get into this. So I'm excited because I'm an old punk guy, old punk and metal guy. You know, I listen to everything, but I'm in Southern Wisconsin. I don't know shit about EDM and DJing, so being able to talk to you, I'm really excited about this. So, like, how did you get started doing what you do?
So, a long time ago, I never really intended, growing up, you know, I had an artist as a father, but I was always surrounded by artists, like musical artists and band members and this and that. You know, Weezer, we were very close to them. But I wasn't really ever aware of any of that. So growing up, I never intended to be a musician or anything. But one day, the Wi-Fi went down. I started playing around on GarageBand. I started having a lot of fun with that. And I discovered a rap group called Suicide Boys in 2016. And when I heard their music, I really was like, wow, if they can make music like that, I want to make music like that. And that's when I really started to get heavy into production and trying to replicate things that I liked. And that was probably, besides soccer, the only thing in my life that I ever like really, really enjoyed and had a lot of fun doing. And I'm completely self-taught. I went to school, but like way later down the line. I already knew what I was doing by the time I had gone to school. But yeah, like it kind of just went down this whole journey of rap. And then I would discover these new kinds of experimental rap artists on SoundCloud that had like 1,000 followers and nobody knew who they were. And I have a tattoo of one of their groups on my leg. Like I really resonated with those kinds of people because the way I looked at it is like those people are in the same situation as me. They're living in an apartment. They have a 9-to-5. They're making art from their heart. That's something new and fresh. And it resonated with me a lot. And it kind of got to a point where I'm like, this is what I want to do. Like if I'm not doing this in my life, I haven't really succeeded in my opinion. So I went really, really hard on music. I went to school for I learned music theory, kind of started getting my knowledge up around like what music is, the science behind frequencies, mixing and mastering. And that's when I started getting in more into the EDM space with the music technology and production on Ableton, starting to learn VSTs and Serum and stuff like that. And I discovered 100 Gex during COVID, and they're a hyperpop group. They're very massive. A lot of people don't like them, but a lot of people absolutely love them. It's kind of a hit or miss thing for a lot of people. But they really inspired me to make this like new kind of unserious, silly, like nightcore, nostalgic, like high-pitched vocals, happy but sad type of music. And I really found it fascinating, like the conflicting energies of what the music contained and how it sounded. And that's kind of how I started to guide my sound. I've become more like someone has a very happy sound, but when you like listen to the lyrics of my music, it's kind of on the sadder side. So it kind of lets you look at everything from a different perspective. That's kind of the idea of my sound. And it was kind of just a crazy journey. Like even with DJing, like I never intended to be a DJ, but I really love all kinds of music. I'd say I call myself a SoundCloud demon because like that's literally I spent all my time on SoundCloud just looking for new artists. There's so many talented people out there that nobody's heard of. So I started finding all these like underground EDM, hardstyle, gabber, European, UKG, like all these like crazy genres that a lot of people in America have never really familiarized themselves with because it's all dubstep and house here. And I just started trying to get booked as a DJ because I'm like, I learned how to DJ over COVID. Like, might as well try to make some extra money. And people thought I was really, really good when I didn't think I was that good. But at first, like, people thought I was really, really good because I was playing something different, you know? And that's what really made me stand out. I feel like I put myself in the techno scene and I played very differently from everybody else, so I stood out a little bit. If I would have inserted myself into a different scene, I may not have stood out as much. But ever since I started DJing, I started getting an audience for my music, which was like the first time, and since 2016, like it took until 2023 for anybody to ever listen to my music for the first time, really. And yeah, I've kind of just been using DJing as a platform to try to become an artist, you know. It's been working out pretty well, honestly, so far, and the growth is actually like kind of surreal. Like, I couldn't be more happy for where my life has been going lately. But yeah, like even just doing this right now is crazy to me because like for so long I was just doing what, you know, I was doing my thing, and the marketing side is honestly where I would struggle a lot. I was really bad at putting myself out there, like letting people know who I was, you know, because I've realized that a lot of what makes music, like what a lot of what it takes to become big in music is just being heard. Like your music being heard is so important. And I've realized like TikTok and Instagram and these social media platforms, YouTube shorts and all these things, like that's the real way. Like it doesn't necessarily have to be someone going out of their way to listen to your song, but if they're hearing it over and over and over and over and over again, they're gonna recognize it,
Yeah,
and eventually people save it.
short form video is king right now.
Oh
No
yeah,
matter how, and it's
100%.
not even about production value. It could be something
Hmm.
you shot with your phone, 10
Oh yeah.
seconds,
Oh yeah.
lip sync into one of your own songs, and it does good, you know. And it's the
100%.
trends are changing. But well, back to like your whole start though. I mean, it's great to see, like you said, how long it was before you had even listeners, and how
Hmm.
driven you are, and well, stubborn. And it's
Yep.
awesome to see. 'Cause I mean, I believe I heard you even like put your own computer together, learned how to put
Yep.
computers together so you could
Hmm.
do your music.
Yep, 100. Yeah, I built in a. When I was younger, I got bit in the face by a dog, so I got a little bit of lawsuit money, and I ended up using that money to build a pretty nice computer, so I could use Ableton with like really high processing and stuff like that, and use a lot of plugins. And yeah, that was like honestly, that moment was the start of like when I really started to take things like I started to take my music to the next level. You know, really studying things online, like watching people who make music that like on Twitch. Like there's this one guy named Bishu, and I would just watch him make music, and I'm like, wow, this guy is like insane. I need to like really take in what he's doing, and that was kind of just how I learned. Like I would just watch stuff on YouTube and take things in from other people, and yeah, it took a very very long time to get to a point where I'd say I was proud of my music, but I always believe that the intention you put behind things is what's most important. If you have good intentions and you do things for a pure reason and you truly love them, eventually you will succeed in it. I truly am a believer of that. Like people
Well,
who go into, especially being a DJ, I've noticed a lot of people go into it with the wrong intentions and they only get so far, you know? So I've just really noticed that stuff.
outlook on it though is that's different because like you're already going into it in a different headspace. So when you're looking at going out to have a good time and put good things out there,
Hmm.
it changes what your view of success is. You
Hmm.
know, so I mean, because success means so many different things to so many different people. But
100%.
when you go in with a positive attitude like you do, I mean, whatever comes out, you know, it's really cool to see, especially with a young artist that is, I mean, struggling but just keeps pushing and pushing,
Hmm.
and that's really cool, and I like to see that. So congrats, and I hope you just
Thank
keep
you.
going, because as long as you don't quit, you're going to do it, man. You're talented
Thank
as
you,
hell.
bro. I really believe that too. Because you know, I did this for so long, and I was working at Erewhon. You know, I was a supervisor, working my 9 to 5 for so long. But the one thing that ever stayed consistent was like my love for music. I always made music since high school, like since 26, since I was a little kid, like basically a kid. You know, in high school, I wasn't even 18 yet. Um, that's just what I've always had fun doing. Like it was either that or soccer, and let's be honest, being a soccer player is very unrealistic.
Way more
So
exhausting
I
too.
gave that
Uh,
up pretty soon.
there's a little more physical activity and exertion than there is
Yeah,
being a
yeah. A
musician.
little bit more
So
competitive to become a soccer player. So
yeah,
I was
and
like, you know what?
you don't get to stay in that industry as long either.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like I still love soccer. I'm wearing a soccer jersey right now. Like I love. It's like probably my biggest passion besides music. Like I absolutely love soccer, but yeah, music is what I definitely want to like be doing in my life for the rest of my life. There are no questions asked. Like I could not see myself doing anything else.
Well, and you also help with doing promotion and promoting other artists and events and
Hmm.
stuff too. I
Oh
understand.
yeah.
So, like, I mean, which is especially in the EDM and DJing scene, it's you've got a very narrow focus group or what fan base that you're going to see. So your demographic, is 18 to 24. So it gives you very easy to target them with your marketing and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And because it's not like going to a standard concert or something like that, nobody's going to be like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, I'll go check them out on my own. Maybe I'll run into somebody.
Yep. Yep.
No, they're going to bring 5 or 6 people with them. So you can aim for your target demographic, which is you,
Yeah.
male
Hundred
Caucasian, 18 to
percent.
24. Awesome.
Yeah.
Perfect. I know where to find them, right?
Yep. Yep.
So,
And
and like I said,
it's.
though, I mean, yeah, it kind of narrows your focus, but in a good way because nobody's showing up alone. So they're bringing people with. So you've got
Oh
that
yeah.
with your marketing. And then you do like I said, you're doing the promotion as well. What outlets for as far as social media and platforms and stuff like that have you found work the best for EDM and DJing?
For me personally, Instagram by far. I just I don't know what it is. I think my account, like Instagram, loves my account, so they always push me on the algorithm. Like I have probably like 200,000 account views every 30 days, which is crazy. 'Cause I only have like 3,000 followers, but my account hits the algorithm like crazy. So I personally I love Instagram. I know TikTok also works very well. But I've always realized there's different kinds of DJs, right? There's a lot of people who are like TikTok DJs, right? So they're like influencers that DJ, and they'll make reels about DJing and this and that, and that's one way to go about it. But I've never really seen myself as that kind of person. I have a very hard time like putting down a camera and like recording myself, like being myself, if that makes sense. I'm only good at
Yes.
recording myself in an artistic way. So I've always like had an issue with the visual aspect of my promotion, but that's what I've kind of been focusing on recently. I just dropped my first music video, I want to say last month, yeah, in the beginning of August, and I've been really using that to like just spam visuals on TikTok, even on an alt account. Like I'll make stupid little edits on an alternate account just so I'm not flooding up my own feed, and then I'll just repost everything just to like get stuff out there on the algorithm, like using funny hashtags or like obscure edits of like cartoon characters in love with each other, like just stuff like that that like kind of is outlandish. You know what I mean? Because I've always like what people have always told me about my music is my music's very outlandish. Like it makes you feel like you can kind of do some like it's like kind of like an anime intro. Like it kind of makes you believe in something and like kind of makes you want to go out and do something. Like which is what I really love. So I like to kind of be over the top and not take myself too seriously when it comes to promotion. Because I've also realized that, being a human is like very marketable and like being relatable is very marketable. So you kind of want to show personality and stuff like that, especially because there's so many artists that have like the mysterious thing going on. And I feel like people are a little tired of that.
Wearing masks and helmets and stuff
Yeah,
like
yeah. And
that.
I mean, for DJs, I kind of understand because, like, your image is a lot, especially with DJing. Like, you're a dude standing on stage playing sometimes your own, but most of the time other people's music. So, to become an individual in a business like that and be known as an individual in a business like that, you kind of have to stand out. And if you're not a very standout looking human being, like the helmet mask route is like a very easy way to like make yourself that way. So that's why I've realized that is actually pretty effective. Because it's like a cartoon character on stage. You're watching a cartoon character DJ, and it's kind of like fun. You know what I mean? It shows like it gives an energy to the set. So I've always realized like I've worn masks before, like back in the day. It gives a different vibe, you know. So I get why people do stuff like that. There's a like being in the scene. Like I've realized there's so many different ways to like angles to take promotion. Like there's a lot of people, you know. There's still people who go out and they'll go downtown. They'll glue the posters up on the wall. They'll take a bunch of promo like that. I've never done anything like that yet. I do want to do that eventually.
It's
Um,
fun. Like, I mean, I'm still
yeah.
old school, and in the Midwest, you still can't beat taking a handbill into a bar and getting it up on their board.
Yeah.
So it's pretty it's fun, but yeah, because you still can't beat some of the good old,
Oh
get it out
yeah.
there and put it out
I
there,
mean,
street
I've gone
team.
out. I've gone out. I've handed flyers out. I've posted. I've gone to USC, like the college campuses. I've posted flyers from my afters with QR codes. Like that was probably the first things I ever did. Because when I first got into the scene, I actually wasn't really DJing. I was helping throw raves, and like all of these raves are not necessarily legal. So there's a lot of like workarounds. And, it's very stressful, but that's kind of where I've been known. I've kind of like made a name for myself in this like underground warehouse. Like I literally will play in like the shittiest warehouse you've ever seen in LA. It's like 110 degrees in there, humid like Florida, but we're in LA. Like it's pretty gnarly sometimes, but I love it. It's like it's become like my place. You know what I mean? Like I'm like very like I walk into I'm a resident DJ at a underground called Lick and Dip. When I walk into Lick and Dip, it's like I know everybody in there. Like everybody's like, "Yo, OG's this and that," and it's like I'm not a big artist or anything, but I'm definitely like a local legend at Lick and Dip, and like to have gone to that point, like it's pretty freaking sick, honestly.
That's cool. I mean, there's a lot to be said about being big fish in a small pond. I mean, it feels good, to walk
Yeah.
in, get recognized, especially for all the hard work you put in.
Oh
And
yeah,
especially
100%.
in an industry and in a genre like EDM, like you were saying, I mean, it's known for weird, wacky, wild personas. I mean, not just on the dance floor, but the DJs themselves too. So it's
Yep.
like, how do you stand out when the point of the whole genre is to be as weird as you fucking can and
Yep.
just let it
Yep.
all out? So, like, how do you do that? What have you found? Well, it sounds like you said too, though, almost doing the complete opposite is
Hmm.
stripping it down and just being yourself and being more, I don't want to say normal, but more available to people to be able to like, oh yeah, okay, that's the guy behind the turntables or
Oh
behind the
yeah.
mask.
It's funny because as when I first started, I was very different from now. When I was DJing events, like I found myself at first like very nervous, very afraid of messing up, standing completely still on stage, still playing good music. People still enjoyed my sets, but like I didn't really have like that kind of like aura about me. I feel like aura is like very, very important for anybody who's trying to do art and like be an artist. Like you have to have this like energy about you. And I'd say like the one thing that made me stand out is like my fashion sense. I like to dress like a cartoon character and like very colorful, very out there. Like I look at myself as like an anime character in real life. That's kind of how I like dress myself and portray myself, and people really love it. So when I started kind of getting more comfortable on stage, because I'd say when I first started DJing, I was a all right DJ, but now that I DJ every single week, multiple times a week on professional grade equipment, that's like tens of thousands of dollars, down payment on a house type of deal. I've become very, very good at DJing, and I'm like pretty confident in that. And now that I'm like very comfortable on the decks, this and that, I'm able to have a lot more stage presence. So I kind of just go into this like flow state. It's kind of weird. Like I don't ever get nervous when I'm performing. I get like excited. Like I'm like, get me up there already. Like I want to show these motherfuckers what's up. And I get up there and I just kind of let loose and I have so much fun. And I feel like because I have so much fun on stage and I'm playing all this music that I absolutely love and that I never hear on like a good sound system. Like that's why I'm just as hyped as everybody else. I'm like, damn, this is the first time I've heard this drop on like a crazy sub like this. Like this is fucking sick. And like, or I'll like try out my own music, and when my own music hits, like the adrenaline I get is like, holy shit, like people like my song, like this is fucking sick. And I don't know, like I kind of transform into a different person on stage. Like it's because I'm a very like humble guy. I would not say I have a lot of like ego. I like to be the bigger man in situations when, I've never been in a fight in my life. I've never been in an argument in my life. Like, I'm a very chill guy, right? So when I'm on stage, like I feel like I'm like a different person. Like I'm like oh yeah, like I feel like I have this like ego about me. Like, and I kind of feel like you have to, you know what I mean? You have to be like, hey, like I'm up here. Look at me. Look at me. I'm the guy playing music. Gotta look at me right now. And then as soon as I get off the stage, I go into the crowd. I never stay on stage. I never stay backstage. Only hang out with the DJs. Like I always go into the crowd and I meet everybody. I talk to everybody. I trade candy. Like I have like the candy bracelets. I trade candy with everybody. And I feel like that's kind of like what people like resonate with me because like they realize like I'm just like a normal dude. I'm just a normal guy and I just do cool shit and like I'm just here to meet people and have fun and just this and that. Like I love the rave scene. Like the way I got into all this EDM stuff was I went to Escape, which is a EDM festival in San Bernardino in 2019, and like that, and like the energy, like the culture behind how nice everybody was to each other, how open everybody was to help each other. They call it PLUR. It stands for peace, love, unity, and respect. Like that's kind of like the culture in raving, and I just really resonated with that. So I feel like in the techno scene, I'm in the techno scene. Even though I play hardstyle and stuff, I'm not really in the hardstyle scene yet. I've inserted myself into a scene where I stand out a lot, as I said earlier, and like a lot of people play techno, and techno's a very like sexual, like when I think of techno, I think of a German guy in all black. You know what I mean? Like that's what I think of, and that's kind of like the vibe it gives. So I try to like be like the colorful one. I try to be the color like the rainbow in the sea of black, and try to bring positive vibes and just connect with people on a personal level. And I genuinely believe that's where I started getting my following. It was just from me going and connecting with people. Because the way I look at it is if you're someone who ends up at an underground rave, you're probably a pretty cool guy, a pretty cool girl. Like normal people don't just show up there, you know what I mean? So I'm like, we have something in common. I can't treat people like like I'm any different from them. They're all just like me, So that's I don't know.
Yeah,
That's why I love it.
they're either cool or a narc, so you're gonna
Yeah.
be able to figure it out pretty fast.
Luckily, I
Nobody
haven't
else
run
is
into too
showing
many of
wandering
those.
in on accident, man. Like, oh, what's going on?
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to say I haven't had too many run-ins with the police, so that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. I can report that
Yep.
back to your dad. Don't you worry. All right. So, well, it's like you're talking about. So, what was it like that first time you got to play your own stuff on that, tens of $1,000s of equipment? Like, what was that like?
It's funny because at first it was very nerve-wracking, right? So when I first started playing, I refused to play my own music because I just wasn't like, I never made techno. I never made EDM, but I was very much capable of it. So I did make some stuff, and every single time I would I remember I would like load it up onto my fourth deck. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna drop this shit on this unreleased shit, and I would just like pussy out, and I'm like, oh no, it's not good enough. It's not good enough. You know how artists are. We're our biggest critics. So I would always pussy out, but then I started just like being like, you know what, if it sounds bad, it sounds bad. Like I'll use this as a test. You know what I mean? Like especially if I was like opening or closing and there's only like 20 people there. So I'm like, if I'm playing at 11, there's only 20 people there. I'm like, okay, let me see how this sounds on the sound system. And the first time I ever did that, I was like, yo, okay, I'm pretty impressed. I'm pretty impressed with myself. Hey, I'm not as bad as I thought, And then it got to a point where I dropped one song. It's called Ozzy Core. I literally made it as a joke. It's like my producer tag. It's literally just me in a high pitch, just going Ozzy, and I just chopped that up a million times throughout the song and just like put it on every single hardstyle kick, and like people loved it. And I sampled that melody from Pokemon. So like that's like I try to take things from my childhood and like incorporate that into my music. I'm a very nostalgic person. I love thing.
I
I
have,
try to
well,
stay a
you,
kid, you know.
I've still
Yep,
got, I got skateboards from
yep,
30,
yep.
40
You know
years
what
ago. Every
it
thought, see, you're in a corduroy chair. You're speaking to
Yep, yep. You know what
nostalgia.
how it is. You know
I
how it
love
is.
seeing what younger generation that love that stuff that much. Like you always see the joke about in a few years, somebody's gonna be in a club and somebody's gonna drop the EDM mix of Baby Shark and the place is gonna lose
Yep.
their fucking mind.
I've already heard that.
I have the picture disc. It came out on Record Store Day a few years ago,
That's
and I got it for my grandson. So my grandson's got the Baby Shark picture disc, and the B
that's
side
sick.
is a fucking EDM remix.
That's
And
so
I run
sick.
my little suitcase record player through an old 4-channel PA with
Oh my
speakers
gosh.
like this big.
That's
So we've
so
got it
sick.
just the neighbors down the block are listening to it. So it's absolutely awesome. So that day will come, and I can't wait for it.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I mean, like even me, like I grew up on like what my dad's. You know, obviously, my dad listens to is like a metalhead. He listens to like a lot of crazy shit. So like things like just any emo, any metal and stuff like that is super nostalgic to me. So I play a lot of like My Chemical Romance remixes and even like Die Antwoord. Like my dad loves Die Antwoord, so I played like Baby on Fire remixes and stuff like that. I try to always keep things like personal to me, like stuff that I enjoy. So I always believe like that's the wave, like nostalgic bait, because like who wants to grow up, who wants to move
Exactly.
on?
I have
Nobody,
49. I haven't
nobody.
yet.
Yeah,
It's too late for me to try now. So
yeah.
it was weird when my son turned 15 and he was more mature and older than me, but we've worked out the details since then. So
I'm dead. That's hilarious. But yeah, that's I don't know. That's kind of like my thing. So like when I played that first song, like that Pokemon and OG Sincore remix live, and like people like recognize it, like oh shit, you played OG Sincore. I'm like, yo, okay, I need to be doing this more. But I got to a point too where I've always had this struggle as an artist to find like what my sound is, right? I've gone through so many phases. I used to make rap, you know what I mean? I used to rap, like, which is crazy to say now, like, looking back. Like, it wasn't good by any means. It wasn't good, but, I did it. And, like, I used to make, like, experimental stuff. I've made a few emo songs. I used to scream. I used to do vocal fry, stuff like that. And I've kind of landed on hyperpop. I feel like hyperpop is, like, it's the pitched up vocals, like fast beats. Like it can be 4x4, it can be hip hop, it could be like any genre, just like kind of sped up and hyper. It's just a hyper version of things. I've really landed on that, so I'm trying to really like solidify myself as a hyperpop artist in the hyperpop scene. So I've been trying to kind of separate my EDM from my actual music. So I have a lot of unreleased stuff that I only play when I DJ. I don't really drop it on SoundCloud. I've dropped a few mixes and stuff like that every now and then, and I probably will drop another one pretty soon, just because people always ask me for it, because I am more well known as a DJ than an artist, which I want to flip. Like, I never meant to be a DJ. Like, that was never, ever my intention, but it ended up being, like, the best platform for me to become an artist, so I've kind of worked with that, and, yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to kind of find this balance of my own style and then things I can DJ, and I want to try to get to a point where it's like I'm remixing my own tracks, you know what I mean, into hardstyle or into UK hardstyle or like this stuff, this or that, and like or like bounce music and stuff like that. So yeah, it's kind of like a weird, like right now I'm in a situation where I'm just kind of trying to like figure out like exactly like who is OG Sin, like what am
well,
I?
I mean, not to. I mean, you're a kid. You're like you're younger
Yeah.
than my son, but like, you're still figuring out who you are. I mean, artists twice your age are still putting out EPs over LPs because it's like this doesn't sound like me, but I want to put it out there.
100%.
You're always going to change and grow as an artist. So hold on to those ones that you're like, oh, it's cringe now, but how fun will that be in a couple of years, like you said, to remix one of your old rap? Find
Mm-hmm.
someone that wants to, feature and collaborate on something to put that together, some real hard
Yep.
stuff or something. I mean, it's always there. And plus, just how, even if it's embarrassing, how fun for your fans, 5, 10 years down the road where you're fucking
100%.
famous to be able to see this stuff. You'll be like, and they'll eat it up. So don't
Exactly.
ever be embarrassed by the crap that
Yeah,
got
it's
you where
like
you
lore.
are,
It's lore
because
building.
yeah,
Backstory.
exactly. You wouldn't be who you are if it wasn't for your mistakes and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
when it comes to that, like if we don't learn from our mistakes, you're just that's on you.
A
But
hundred.
like, what is some mistakes that you've
Exactly.
made when it comes trying to market and promote, whether it's your EDM or working with Lick and Dip or the DJing stuff? What is some marketing mistakes you've made that you've learned from that have like made you a better person? You wouldn't change it if you did because now you do something different and better
Yeah,
because of it.
100%. I mean, I definitely say not marketing enough when things happen. I have just I'd say I went so long in my musical career just putting things out into the void. You know what I mean? Like making music, but like it wasn't being heard. Like the occasional Russian would stumble across it. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of how it would go. Like, um, so
Those are
like
some of
that
the
was probably
those are some of the funnest analytics though when you're looking through your metrics and stuff and you're like, Russia, what the fuck? You might
yeah,
have
Russia.
1,000 views from somebody down the street, but that one in Russia's like, yeah, that's cool.
Russia is definitely like my second biggest audience.
Oh, that's awesome.
They're always on everything early. Like Russians find everything before everybody else. So they're the real SoundCloud demons. Like I literally used to have a VK account, which is like Russian Facebook that I used to put my music on. That was like my first marketing ever. That didn't really go too well because I just didn't speak Russian, so I couldn't like relate to people on like a personal basis. But yeah, like I'd say just not enough. And even recently, like my girlfriend's really good at keeping me on my shit with marketing. She's like, bro, post another edit today, do this or that. Like you need to just be spamming stuff, like putting more. Like I always say, like the more you put out, the better. Like you don't want to oversaturate your marketing like in a way where it's like literally you going, hey, listen to my music, because I feel like that's a little like when I hear other people saying that, I'm like, oh, okay, just another guy wanting me to listen to his music. You know what I mean? There's a million of those now, like especially on TikTok and stuff like that. So I've personally noticed that the best way to market yourself is by giving people a taste of something that they want more of. You know what I mean? Like giving them a teaser, giving them like a little bit of a mystery. Like a oh shit, like what is this? You know what I mean? Like I've always found like what blows up the best on Instagram for me is just like pictures of me in my outfits. You know what I mean? So I'll post like a cool ass outfit, but then I'll post like a snippet. I figured out how to like make a reel on Instagram, and then you can like make your own sound on like an alternate account, save it, and then you could like post snippets of your music that way. So I started doing that kind of things, and then people were like, "Oh shit, like you're dropping music soon? Like what the hell? Like this?" And people kind of realized, just thought, inadvertently off of me, just like not literally me not going listen to my music, and I've always found that way more like effective. I don't know. Making music that fits well as like background music or fits well with the vibe of a picture. I've realized that audio visual alignment is super important, especially in this like day and age where like people are so like what's the word watered down set like with their
Oh
senses.
yeah,
Like
we're
I don't know if that's the
desensitized.
best way to
That
put that. Yeah,
Yeah, we're
desensitized,
desensitized to
desensitized.
stuff.
They're
If it's not
desensitized to
big and
everything.
yeah, if it's
Like
not big
so.
and bold.
Oh yeah, 100%. You got to make it like out there. You got to stimulate people.
Well,
So
the one that drives me nuts now is the new trend where they show like the end of the video and the first second of it, and then you got to
oh
watch the whole thing, and you're like, some of it I get, but I'm like, I already know how it fucking ends. Why do I want to watch this three
yeah,
minutes of someone
yeah.
I don't know who they are? I get it. They fell down. I laughed at the beginning. I don't need to watch the rest.
Yep. I
I
mean, that's the thing. It's people are scrolling, scrolling, scrolling. You got to get people to stop scrolling.
Yep.
Like that's really what it comes down to, and that's just one of the effective methods. But I've just realized, like, I don't know, with my visuals and stuff, like people usually just stop scrolling when it's something that looks cool. You know what I mean? And I've always really loved artists that have nice music videos that are thought out and
Cost
give
like
me a
full on
feeling.
costume designers and the
Yeah, like
works.
there's
Like
have you ever heard of an artist named Flume?
yeah,
Yeah, so he has like a really sick like mind for visuals in my opinion. I look up to him a lot cuz like it's not necessarily so like choreographed and like stuff like that, but it's like the way it's edited and it's the way it's like it's just so psychedelic and like just super mind altering, like just to watch. And I'm like, dude, this is fascinating. You get like sucked into it, and I love stuff like that. Like I want people to be like entranced by my art. Like that's my goal. Like I want to get to a point where I learn how to do everything myself. I'm kind of like one of those people where it's like if I'm not doing it myself, like I hate it because people just don't know what I want. Like they don't listen to me well enough. I've tried making music videos with other people, and I'm just like, God, like I don't like this. I don't like the way you edited it. I don't like the way you filmed it. This is not what I like, and I just will never drop it because I'm just like, this is not good enough. Which is like a blessing and a curse because I feel like I hold myself to a standard, right? Which is good because you should, as an artist, you should always hold yourself to like a standard of music. Like you shouldn't just put stuff out there to put stuff out there if
No.
you don't think it's good enough. Like I believe in, you know, putting in the effort to making it like palatable, and some people just don't want to do that. Some people just don't want to do that with me. They don't want to be patient and this and that and like work with me. So I got to the point where the last music video I made, I literally told my girlfriend, I'm like, yo, get your old Canon shitty ass camera. I found like we started driving on the edge of the valley. I'm from the 818 Valley, like the San Fernando Valley. So we're just driving around the edge of the valley and we found like this weird ass like new neighborhood that just got built with like nobody living in it. So we're like, dude, this is weird as hell. So I like found this weird view and like this spot that looked so new, but there's like nothing there. And we filmed like this music video and I edited it myself like in like 2 weeks and I love it. I love it so much. Like I finally took the time to like just do it myself and learn, and it was very very rewarding. So I'm definitely gonna go. I'm trying to learn how to do a lot more different like touch designer and like coding visuals and stuff like that. So I'm excited to see where my visual journey goes. I also do make on the side, like my side gig is I make a VJ visual, so like video jockey loops. People who are like at EDM shows, they have like preset loops and stuff like that. Like you know all those like crazy screen visuals that are like just flashing colors and shit like that. Like I make a lot of those things for DJs on the side. Like I've done it for a few bigger DJs like DeadX, and I've done a few uh like raves that wanted visuals over time. So every now and then I get to practice, but I'm trying to like broaden my art, you know, make money in where I can and use it on myself at the same time. So it's been going. It's been a cool learning experience to go from like audio to visual.
And like you said, you've got the screens and stuff, and it's something that's going to help you with both sides of whether it's the EDM, whether it's the DJing, or whether it's the promotional stuff with Lick and Dip. Like, I
Yep.
mean, so learning that stuff anyways is good, so you don't have to depend on someone else because especially in the music industry, any part of the entertainment industry, trying to get two people's schedules to line up is a nightmare because nobody ever works in even the same time zone. You
Dude,
know,
tell me.
I've had a nightmare trying to book guests, and I've had to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning because they're overseas.
Yep.
Or I mean,
Yep.
it's not easy. And then when you're getting into the actual creative side of stuff, yeah, it's of course. I mean, you can't beat networking and making those connections. But yeah, if you've got the ability, like you do, I mean, you are really talented. It's awesome to
Oh, thank
see.
you.
I mean,
Thank you.
between the editing, the your design for like your outfits, your style, everything about your videos, you got a really good visual aspect to your stuff.
Thank you.
You just need to do more of it. Like you said, that
Yeah,
was your biggest
100%.
flaw, just more of it.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'd say that like what I see in my mind of what I want is very clear. Like I'm a very like visionary person in my head. Like I have I know exactly what I want. It's just a matter of me learning how to do it. I've always been that way, even with music. Like I can hear everything in my head already. I can see when I listen to music. I close my eyes and I vision. I just see things, and like and that's kind of just what honestly pushed me to like really really get into this because I'm like I'm so sure of myself. You know what I mean? I'm so sure of what I want. I just need it. I need to get it. I need to get this down. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what really pushed me is just like I'm so tired of just knowing what I want and not having it. And I need to learn how to do it myself. I need to stop relying on other people. I've learned that relying on other people is like one of the most dangerous things you could do. Because
Yeah,
the
especially if you're
one
on a
person you can trust the
timeline.
most is yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on a timeline, it's difficult. If you're like, hey, I want this done by next year, that's
Yeah.
cool. But if you're
Yeah.
looking at something with a release date or a drop date, like it's never gonna work out. And it's usually you can't blame the other person either because we've all been there. So
Yep.
last
Yep.
minute, like shit, sorry.
Yep. 100%. I mean, and also in LA, like everybody's so busy here. Everybody's got so much. Everybody's trying to make it. You know what I mean? What I've realized is like I'm one of the only people I've met in the scene that's from LA. Everybody I meet is not from here, which is like kind of eye opening. So I'm like, wow, this is like really where everybody comes to make it, and it's not an exaggeration. Like I meet people from all over the country. Like yesterday, like the other day, I met like a group of people just moved here from New York. You know what I mean? Like from Buffalo, New York, and like they're all trying to make it as like a rap group. And it's just the amount of times I hear it's very very common. Like I really don't meet a lot of artists from LA. Everybody I meet from LA is just the rave goers. People who are just like regular people who are just wanting to go to the raves. But yeah, I've realized that being an LA local like kind of gives me an upper hand on people too, because like I know this place. This is my home. I have a deeper connection to like everything, and I don't know. I feel like I'm able to just like bring out the culture more too, and like what I do, and it's definitely appreciated. It's definitely appreciated by the people from here. I've definitely seen that.
So, what advice do you have for other EDM artists and DJs and people in that music scene and culture that are just first getting started?
Um, don't be afraid to be yourself and have personality. A lot of people, especially in the techno scene, that I've realized, like they feel like you have to be like this techno snob, you know, no sync button, no dancing on stage, locked in robot, have to be like perfect DJ, technical aspect. And there's nothing wrong with being a technical DJ, but what's gonna get people to remember you is how you interact with them. At the end of the day, as much as people don't like to hear it, you are performing. You are a performer. You are there to entertain people. Uh, Unless you're in a DJ booth in the sky and you're not being seen, like you gotta have a presence. You know what I mean? That's what I've noticed is what helps people remember. Like you can play a sick set, but if you're just a normal guy standing on stage playing a sick set, people are going to forget you. As tough as that sounds, it's very. I've
Unless you,
noticed it myself.
yeah, unless you could turn that into your gimmick.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. Like there's a lot of people, and the thing is, like usually the way to go about that gimmick is not what you do on stage. It's what you do on Instagram. It's what you do on social media. If you carry yourself as like you make reels and you're like, I'm a proper DJ. This is how you be a proper DJ. This is me being a proper DJ. And then people go see you to be a proper DJ. Then that's sick. But like for example, I have a friend that's a DJ. I've DJed with him many times. His name is DJ Flapjack. He's a happy hardcore DJ and he plays only vinyl still to this day. And he doesn't just play vinyl. He's scratching with his fucking ass. He's scratching with his feet. He's putting the table above his head. Scratching. Like people think it's sick to watch. It's super fun to watch, and like that's how you get remembered. You know what I mean? You do stuff that's your thing. You have to have a gimmick. Like that's what I've always realized about artists. Like people have to remember you for something, right? You have to have some kind of gimmick, have some kind of like trait. You know what I mean? So I'd say like as for new DJs trying to make it, um, I'm fortunate enough that I didn't really actually try to do this. I guess people liked how I look, my image, this and that. It inadvertently happened for me, but try to be something, like make a character for yourself. I don't go up and perform as Ozzy Murphy. I go up and perform as OG Sin. I'm a different human when I'm on stage. I have an ego about me when I'm on stage. I have this. I'm the center of attention right now, and it's not even about me being like arrogant or this and that. It's just a fact. I am the center of attention right now. I'm the DJ, so I have to act that way. You know what I mean? And it's almost like playing a character. Like I have to not take myself too seriously, not be like, oh, like, oh, I'm embarrassed, like this isn't who I am, like it isn't who I am. This is Ozzy sin, you know what I mean? So I feel like realizing that and disconnecting yourself from your artist, from your artist persona and your regular self is important, but also don't get lost, don't disconnect the two completely, because that's also a big problem with people who get too big is they forget who their real self is and they become their artist self all the time. So it's, I always say, just be, when you're on stage, like transform, like go somewhere else, like let it everything go. That's normal. You know what I mean? When you're on stage, what only matters is the music and the crowd and yourself. And that's probably my biggest piece of advice for anybody who's starting out to be a DJ. Just figure out how you want to be perceived and just go for it. You know what I mean? There's no shame in it. There's no shame at all. You know, there's a lot of artists who do very crazy shit. Like there's this one DJ who's a pink guy. He just paints himself pink in his undies, and he's like crazy as hell. But people love him because he's just, what the hell is going on? You know what I mean?
Be the most memorable. If you can't be the best, be the most memorable.
Exactly. It's about being memorable. It's like I wouldn't say I'm the most technically gifted DJ in the world. Not even in LA. You know what I mean? I'm a good DJ, but I'm not the best DJ, nor do I claim to be the best DJ in any regard. But I'm really good at what I do, what I play, the style I'm really good at bringing a vibe that will be remembered, and that's where I pride myself. You know, if I'm not gonna be like, you know, chopping up four songs at once all the time, you know, super locked in, like I'm going to be. I still DJ, I still mix. Like trust me, like I'm not up there doing nothing. I'm not a press play DJ, but I'm also gonna have those. I'm not gonna be mixing like 100% of the time while I'm up there. Like I'll have a moment where I let the song line up. I put my arms up. You know, I build it up with the crowd. I make eye contact with people. You know, I'm giving heart hands. I'm trading candy with people. I'm playing. You know, it's about that kind of thing where it's like I give somebody a candy bracelet while I'm DJing. They're never gonna forget that moment. They're gonna be like, I got this candy from the DJ that was playing. Oh shit! Like, you know, people. Even though I'm not a big DJ, like people remember it. It's cool. It's a cool experience, especially for people, let's say, if they've never been to a rave. That's a memorable experience. So for me, it's just about being remembered. That's like the main thing, especially for a DJ when you're not performing. You know, you're not a performer necessarily. You're not singing on stage. You're not rapping. You're not, you know, making music. You're not in a band. You know what I mean? Like you're up there. You're a disc jockey. You know what I mean? You're playing other people's musics and your own music, and you're trying to make something your own out of other people's art. And it's just about the experience rather than like what you're actually doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, that I'd say that's definitely the number one thing, 100%.
That's awesome. And you're definitely, I mean, everyone, I don't think who you are, how big you get. You're always a little hesitant when you first get up on stage until you, and then you get it when you let it all out. And
100%.
seeing where you're at already, you're still really young. Like, it's really impressive. Like, I know for a fact, I mean, like, what, your first vocal booth was in a closet with a microphone hanging down in the old mountain house in LA? I know everything, buddy.
Yep.
And now
Yep.
look at, you're sitting, you're dropping your own shit on stuff that's tens of thousands of dollars. Like,
Yep.
that's awesome. And I'm really,
Yep.
really happy for you because you are cool as hell. You've got a great vibe and you deserve this. So that's
Thank you,
just
man. That
cool.
means a lot. It's definitely crazy. Like, I don't know. Like I said, like I used to be in that specific house you were talking about. That's when I was making my shitty rap music, and like I don't know. Like that was a very necessary moment, like a very necessary part of my life. You know, I needed to go through that, and it was a pretty weird situation too, because it was that's where my dad was living when he was in the process of moving to Florida. So I was watching that house by myself. Basically, I had like a 4-bedroom house to myself when I was 18 years old for about a year. And I just used that space to be as loud as possible, and I needed that. That was honestly one of the best things I could have had because it just taught me how to, you know, be comfortable on a microphone. Nobody was hearing me. You know what I mean? I think that's also another thing that a lot of people struggle with and they don't understand is It's not easy to record music. It's kind of like a mental thing that you have to get over. The one thing I've always noticed when people like want to start making music, and I've had a lot of people come over and they're like, "Yo, I want to try to start make a song. Like, teach me how to make music, this and that." And I'm always happy to help people, but they come over and then they get on the mic and they're like frozen and they can't do anything. And I'm like, it's fine, bro. Like, just let it
Yeah.
go. But it's easier
Well,
said than done.
yeah, because I mean, no matter who you are, everybody thinks they like the sound of their own voice until they put headphones on and listen to themselves because it's not the
Yeah.
same sound at all. So when you get
Yep.
into a
Yep.
vocal booth and you're like, who the fuck was that? That's terrible. That's what I sound like.
Yep.
But
Yep.
you got to remember, it's news to you, but everybody else, that's why you're here because they like what you sound like, and you
Yep.
got to get that through your head. But it's so hard because it really is. Once you put it into your monitor, some headphones on, your world has changed
Oh
really
yeah,
quick. It's a slap in
and
the face
I'm no
sometimes.
singer. Like I'm not really like I can kind of sing, but like I have a very low bassy voice, right? And I've realized that just post processing, vocal effects, this and that, finding the right presets for myself. I've made all my presets for my vocals. I have like pre-saved presets for myself and everything. Like I found like my sound, and I feel like it takes sounding like shit to find how to sound good. I have a lot of privated music on SoundCloud, but I still have a lot of old stuff. Like you can go back on my SoundCloud. Anybody listening to this, you can go back to my SoundCloud, you can go through my journey, and you can see like how my voice evolved over time. And like I've gone to a point now where I think my voice sounds pretty damn good, honestly. So it wasn't always like that. And that's another thing I'd say for people who are starting out. Like, don't be afraid to be shitty. Like nobody's good at anything the first time they do it. Only freaks of nature are, and there's not a lot of those in this world. And it's okay to not be good at something. It's about the journey and having fun and the dopamine rush of getting better. You know what I mean? Like when you finally make something that's like, oh shit, that little melody is pretty good right now. It's like a dopamine rush. You know what I mean? So that kind of
Sure.
stuff, like it's addicting to me. Like I just, for me, like there's nothing better feeling in this world than listening to something I made and like getting goosebumps and like getting emotional off of something that I created. Like that's the most rewarding thing in the world. And like trust me, like the work it takes to get to that point is so 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 worth it. Like it's all about like you got to be patient and you got to persevere. Like the shitty feelings. Like I have a lot of friends who have made music with over the time that don't make music anymore. They quit. They couldn't take the not nobody listening to them and this and that. And like I've had very talented people who I'd say are more talented than me, and I thought that at the time, like that they just gave up. And I'm like, man, like I wish you would have just kept going, bro. Like especially like my friends, it's like, wow, like now I'm in a position where I could put people on. I can give people a platform, and I do that. There's many DJs that have hit me up on Instagram. They're like, "Yo, bro, like you're super fire. Like I want your opinion on my music." And I'm like, "Dude, you're so good. I'm gonna get you booked at Lick and Dip." And now they have DJ careers that are starting, and it's like, I'm not like one of those people who's like afraid of competition. Like I'm one of those people who thinks that in order to grow, you need like a group of people around you that to grow with you. And like I've always like looked up to like rap groups. You know what I mean? Groups of people who are all friends that all make cool shit and like together and like have fun and live together and like do this and like that's like a dream for me. You know what I mean? Like I would love to get to that point to just have a group of people I live with that just we make art every day. And yeah, I just feel like that's what it's about, just doing it for the love of it, not doing it because you want to be good at it. Like obviously you'll get good at it one day, but do it because you love it. That's the main thing for me.
Awesome. So what do you got coming up?
What do I got coming up? Well, it's everything pretty short term. I don't really get stuff super far in the distance. I might be playing in Florida in December, maybe up in the air. But I kind of get booked things on a monthly basis. So like right now I'm booked up until like halfway through September. But if anybody's ever in LA, I pretty much play Lick and Dip every single weekend. If you follow me on Instagram, I can get you on the guest list if you want to come check it out. I have unlimited guest lists. That's like my whole thing is like I am a guest list DJ. So people book me because I will bring people. I'll bring hundreds of people. So never be afraid to hit me up on Instagram asking any questions or asking for guest list or this or that. Like if you ever want to meet me in person, like literally just come through to Lick and Dip. That's my home. I'm always there. If I'm not DJing, I'm working there. So yeah, I'd say yeah, come check out Lick. If you want to come to an underground rave, hit me up. I have a new song dropping. What month is it right now? August, September 3rd. So next month on the 3rd. I don't know when this will be out, but yeah, it might be out by then. It's called Bright. It's gonna be a very very good one. It's more of a different vibe I'm trying to go for. I've been exploring new sounds, so hopefully y'all enjoy that. But yeah, for that's pretty much everything that's going on. I want to drop a project next year, in the beginning of the year. So maybe an album in 2026 in the works. So yeah, we've got some stuff going on. But yeah, pretty much like yeah, I just be DJing every weekend. It's my full time job. I don't do anything else. So yeah, if you ever want to come through to a rave, hit me up. I'm very responsive. I'm not very hard to get a hold of. So yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
All right. Well, Ozzy, thank you for coming on. This was an absolute blast. I was looking forward to this since I had your dad on, actually. So this was a lot of fun.
No, this was
Thank you for
awesome.
taking. I know you had a busy schedule, so thank you for making the time for me today. I really appreciate
Thank
it.
you for having me. This is super. This is my first podcast, so I'm like super hyped on this. I cannot wait for it to come out.
Oh, don't
This is
worry. I
super
will. You
awesome.
will. You will get tagged plenty. You'll know when it's
Oh
coming
yeah,
out.
heck yeah, heck yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. As always, like, subscribe, share. Please comment, good and bad, preferably good, but I want to know what I'm doing and what you think of me and our awesome guest, Ozzy Murphy. Again, thank you, everybody. Have fun, man. Just have fun. We'll
I
see you
agree.
later.
Have fun. Take care.